Hey everyone, welcome back to another TNA Podcast Super Show. I'm Brother Underscore from the HeelCast, joined as always by my brother-at-arms, the man that deleted the dude, Raven Effect. Raven, sup, bro?
What's going on, man? Been a while for me to come back.
Been a while for me too, man. It's been a while. Speaking of been a while, from the King of the Mountain podcast, we have our best pal, Kyle. Kyle, it has been a while, bud. You got any good chat messages for me tonight, brother?
We're going to try to keep the Mae Young tits to a minimum tonight, boys. But thank you for having me on. Feels good to be back. We are in the place to be. I'm going to say that for my brother BQ from King of the Mountain since he's not on tonight. But we are in the place to be, boys.
It's always the place to be when we're together. That's all I got to say. Look, guys, as always, we got to talk about our other buddies as well. Don't forget to follow Chef underscore TNA Mafia. And, guys, I don't know if you know it or not, but he now is running his own podcast.
He's got a show. I caught that.
TNA Mafia Radio on YouTube, guys. It's cool, isn't it?
It's finally, the Chef has got something going. It's definitely one of the TNA fans on Twitter. It's always posting. Huge TNA fan. The guy goes to all of the tapings. It's about time, Chef gets his little podcast going. Hopefully all of us get to hop on there one time or another, chat it up with Chef.
Oh, I'd love to chat it up with Chef. And let me tell you something. The guy is entertaining as hell. So speaking of entertaining as hell, let's not forget FK9, the Issues with Impact. And, of course, King of the Mountain podcast. Let's not forget you guys. Andre Corbeil, and, of course, our buddy Numero 47's site, Diva Dirt. That's www.diva-dirt.com. So lots of really cool places to be for TNA. Lots of cool content out there. Check it all out.
You gotta love it. It's a nice underground, tight-knit community. All the TNA fans.
Absolutely. Now, Kyle, you mentioned the word underground. And a guy that's been underground for quite a while now, Jeff Jarrett. Reports are surfacing that he's been meeting with Anthem. What do you think about this? Is this signs of his involvement to come, or is this just a little professional courtesy?
I read that. I also read that. And one of the things that was noted in the article was 2005 to 2006 was what they feel is TNA's peak. And they were going to the guy who was there at the time running the ship and possibly talking to him about working together. Because, let's face it, guys, I don't think GFW is doing anything. They filmed their episodes like 2 years ago almost. I don't think it's taking off. Maybe it's best for Jeff Jarrett to bring GFW to TNA and come back home, so to speak.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I disagree, though. I want to say I think 2007 and 2009 were by far the best years in TNA history. So 2006 was a good year, quality prime year. I'm just saying, I don't really...
Oh, no, I totally agree. That's just what it said in the article.
Yeah. No, I'm not saying that's your opinion. I get that's from the article. I'm just saying that article is fucking wrong. But, yeah, so no, it's good. Jarrett's back. I don't know that there's really anything to it, but... I think TNA was at its best under Jarrett overall, except for him really kind of hogging the title reigns. But yeah, hopefully something comes of it. And I've said for years I think TNA and GFW needed each other, and GFW's got some talent that I'd like to see in TNA.
Yeah, what I read was that regardless of what came out of it, Jeff would be maintaining GFW as a separate entity. And Jeff does need some form of TV deal. Anthem does have a platform for wrestling and through streaming service, and there could be some kind of a match for the two there. There's no reason why Anthem can only have one wrestling show. Why not have multiple wrestling shows? Bundle the content. Give fans what they want, which is wrestling and quality wrestling. The real question is, can GFW provide quality wrestling at this point, given the roster or really lack of roster that they have? In addition, we've all heard the news by now that Challenge TV has canceled TNA, that they're they're finishing up. They were fortunate enough to get Total Nonstop Deletion to air so that their fans could see it. And that TNA has announced a new app, Total Access TNA Impact app. And viewers are going to have access to Impact, as well as episodes of TNA's Greatest Matches, TNA Classics, and, of course, TNA British Boot Camp. It's $1.99 a month, Raven Effect. My question for you is, obviously this comes about because Anthem has the technology and the infrastructure to do it, but do you find it peculiar that it's not actually airing on the Fight Network there?
I guess. I honestly, man, like, I don't know that much about it, but it is a little ironic and strange to me. You would think that maybe they can.
Here's the thing. With all the shows you just named, all of them all air on the Fight Network every day. I have the Fight Network on my Roku. All of those shows air on the Fight Network. So why don't they just announce the Fight Network and put the show on the Fight Network? What's the point of going out of your way to create a new app when you already have an app and all of your content is on it? I don't know. Maybe that's what they're going to do. Maybe not. I don't know.
That's kind of what I thought, Kyle. It just struck me as odd. Now, I don't know what the agreements are with Pop in the United States and Sony 6 in India, but, I mean, they could always say, hey, I'm sorry, I can't show you this because you're in the United States or you're in India, but still keep that content bundled together and just give it to the UK folks. It just strikes me as odd. I'm sure we'll find out more in the weeks and months to come. In the meantime, if you are a UK fan, you're still going to have access to Impact, and you're still looking at $24 a year. So it's not like you're talking about a lot of money to have access to your favorite wrestling show. So hopefully, because of that, they're able to keep that fan base and generate some pretty good revenue for themselves. I mean, the Challenge TV deal was only worth $1 million a year to them. So if they can start to get, $24 a year out of all of their, viewers, that could add up. I think they had about 100 and some thousand viewers on a regular basis. So that would be, a good 2.5 times what their deal with Challenge was, if they got everybody. We all know that's not going to happen. It's going to be a lot less than that. But still, that's it's going to be interesting. That's what this is all about. It's all about moving to streaming. And as we talk about Jeff Jarrett meeting with Anthem, it's a different day and age than it was in 2005, 2006. You guys said it quite well that you thought that some of the other years were some of their best. I don't know. I kind of thought 2016 was a good year too. Best year, I don't know. I think that's really a matter of opinion, but it'll be interesting to see what they do. They have to appeal to a different audience, and different audience is looking for different things. Now, guys, speaking of different things, we had Total Nonstop Deletion. And, Kyle, for me, the show as a whole was just a nice break. It was their holiday episode. A lot of folks online have been complaining that it was a little too odd, a little too strange for them. What's your take on this?
I loved it. It was broken brilliance. That's the best way I could put it. It was broken brilliance. I would never want to see this on a regular basis. It was a one-time thing. It was a treat. I enjoyed it a lot. I think they overhyped it a little. I was expecting a little more than what it was. But what it was, I totally enjoyed. What is there to say about it? You can't even explain this stuff. It's Matt Hardy broken brilliance. This stuff is total insanity. What's your take on it?
I thought it was broken insanity. I enjoyed it. I thought it was different. I think it's something that I'd like to see done again. But I also think that it needs to be a break. And talk about, the comedic side of wrestling. And I enjoy the comedic side of wrestling. But I don't want to see it all the time. And I think that this show was one of those things. You do a quarterly show. And maybe do it as, a one night only. And people that want to see it, like myself, will go ahead and watch that because it is a little bit different. Maybe it does bring some additional revenue in. The one thing, Kyle, that I'll say that came out of this that I was being very cognizant of as I was watching the show was the Dome of Deletion. They were able to put the show on in front of 50 fans, and they were able to make it a very unique and very entertaining type of show. I didn't care for the lighting. I was complaining about the lighting, but it was different. And I think that if they're going to get back to going on the road and doing the house shows, that really what they need to do is they need to be able to tape those shows and provide that content via Fight Network or this Total Access TNA Impact app. And they need to add that as additional content. And the way that they structured the Dome of Deletion show and the way they went about doing things is something that I could watch. So, again, I'm not talking about a weekly 2-hour show, but just, hey, here's some additional content if you want to watch it. Here's some additional content. That makes it an app that I'd be interested in buying. So, anyway, guys, let's talk about the show a bit. We've got... It was just an odd show. Right? The news anchors open the show. As the news anchors are opening the show, they're beginning to give us a picture of what's going on in Cameron. And they're talking about the fact that they've got, a volcano. And they're shutting all the roads down. And then they see Itchweed watching. I gotta say... Kyle, that was probably the strangest opening to a wrestling show that I've ever watched, but it was also a very cool opening to the show.
With the Itchweed thing, I feel like they put a lot of Hardy show references in there, and the casual viewer has no idea who Itchweed is. I feel like they could have introduced certain things a little better, but yeah, Itchweed, man. Guy's got a weed whacker. Talks like a maniac. I don't really understand it. Do you understand Itchweed?
I think part of it is that we're not supposed to understand Itchweed. He's just a strange, bird in general. Itchweed is. But I like the fact that they brought in the Action News folks. I think it just gave it a cool spell and made it, different than it otherwise would have been.
I think Itchweed is like Jeff's alter ego when he hits the plateau of 500 Vicodins. He turns into Itchweed.
Oh God,
I love it. I totally get Itchweed. I don't know how you guys don't.
I definitely enjoy some Itchweed, but it's definitely a bizarre out there character.
He's got to be my favorite character ever, man. Other than Rafi from the league, Itchweed's my guy with 3 E's. I
love that little title thing they throw up every time. It says Itchweed with his face. You know what I'm talking about? It's Itchweed, gold.
I would have taken Itchweed over Trump or Hillary by a lot.
Oh, are you kidding me? There's no doubt about that at all. There's no doubt about that.
Itchweed should probably be president right now. I think he's supposed to be Cajun, isn't he?
He sounds like he's Cajun.
Yeah, he sounds like he's high in Cajun.
I mean,
I wanted to say, I'm sorry, the one point I tried to say was that if I haven't been doing the internet thing, so Kyle's saying that people were kind of complaining about the show. The only point I really wanted to make was that, dude, this show was bad intentionally. It's done bad. Because it's funny that way, and it's one of those intentional comedies where it's so bad that it's funny yet so good, and that's what I thought the show was. I'm sorry to do that. I just want to get that out there.
High camp. Very campy. That high camp.
I totally agree. I think it was supposed to be like this. I think this is what they were gunning for, and I think it worked. I think that people get upset because they think that they've done this, and now this is all you're going to see. This is it. Forever and ever. And I also get upset because I read people complaining, whether it be on Twitter or on TN Asylum, that we get enough of the Hardys all the time anyway. That's all that they do is show the Hardys. For crying out loud, Matt Hardy had 1 match in the last set of tapings. What you get is a minute of vignette here and a minute of vignette here, just as a transition between things before a commercial. Yes, they're spread out. I get it. Yes, they take a little bit of time, but they're not. It's not like they're coming out for 15 minutes, okay, like a certain family in a certain other company at the beginning of the show, and then dominating the whole damn show. They get a minute here, a minute there. It's comedic relief. Give it a rest.
And not to mention that it's one of the hottest angles in professional wrestling.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Where would TNA fucking be if it weren't for the Hardys right now? Seriously, tell me that. They're probably keeping this company like valuable to someone's opinion, someone's eyes.
My cousin Sean texted me a few minutes ago and said that there's delete chants on the WWE pay-per-view going on right now.
Good.
Come on.
Yeah. Quit complaining. We need more Hardys.
Broken brilliance.
So,
delete those fans.
Speaking of broken brilliance, King Maxwell gets his first win at 18 months old. And he beats the only guy who's even close to his size in the entire roster, Rockstar Spud. Now,
hope it stays that way.
I know, really, you don't want to get too many wins. When he starts pinning Lashley, then there's a problem.
I'm talking about Rockstar Spud being the closest guy in the company to his size, because there's someone they brought in that I hope doesn't get a permanent spot on that roster.
Oh, nah, man. Give it a break. That's not happening. We'll get to that later, but I'm not buying any of these guys are going to show up again. Possibly a couple, but it won't be him. But, I love the background that they gave, and I love the way that they did it. You know, obviously Maxwell has to go over in this match, guys, but, you know, the interference, you know, the use of Senor Benjamin. I mean, honestly, Raven, it was, what was it, about 20 seconds long and really, really, really wasted, but it was fun to watch. You got to admit it.
If you want to talk about brilliant, that was Rockstar Spud's interview and promo that he was doing out there, especially when he starts bitching about how Maxwell is more over than he'll ever be. That was hilarious. Like, Rockstar Spud is so fucking good. The guy is so damn entertaining. He's so underutilized. Like, the guy is just golden. And, yeah, I mean, he got shocked by Senor Benjamin. And then, obviously, it took some work there to get Maxwell to come over and cover him. But Rockstar Spud putting over King Maxwell, getting him over, even more over than he already is, which is kind of impossible.
I loved it. That's exactly, you know, what I expected. Obviously, we weren't going to get like a match from Maxwell Hardy, that sick fuck Senor Benjamin with the taser. We saw the progression of Senor Benjamin. You know, he was just a gardener, and now he's an evil bastard in a Riviera Steakhouse jacket with a taser.
Now, Kyle, you mentioned something to me earlier before we went online. After this match, we got a sighting for one of my old favorite wrestlers from years back, the Disco Inferno. And that's apparently a reference. That's not just some random sighting. That's a reference to those that may be in the know. So would you mind sharing with everybody exactly why we got to see Disco Inferno?
Oh, yeah. The joke was at an independent show a few months ago, they did a thing where Maxwell Hardy pinned Disco Inferno. You know, somebody laid him out, and then Maxwell Hardy pinned him. So Maxwell Hardy got a win over Disco Inferno. So the reason you saw him pop up was, you know, he said, at least it wasn't me this time. You know, that was the joke. At least it wasn't him this time. But we should have had Disco Inferno show up, do his dance. You know, I wonder when the last time he's been on television doing that.
Probably
2001.
Yeah, exactly. 2001. I always enjoy a good Disco Inferno sighting. He's just one of the guys that was always out there entertaining folks back in the day.
Just a disco dancing fool.
He is a disco dancing fool, and maybe I'm just a disco dancing fool too. Maybe that's my problem.
Well, was he ever in TNA? Did he ever? Yeah, did he ever wrestle for TNA in the early days? I feel like he did.
Glenn Gilberti.
But was he Disco Inferno?
He was not called Disco Inferno. He went by I know he went by Glenn Gilberti, and I think there may have been a point where he went by something else, but I know he always went by Glenn Gilberti in TNA. Back in, I want to say like 2002 through 2003, he had a minor role with Russo.
I believe he's training actually out in Vegas, where Kenny King wrestles out of.
For real?
Yeah, that's what my understanding is. This is from couple years ago. I don't know why I was looking him up, or maybe I was looking Kenny King up and see what he was up to. But yeah, I think that they're Vegas. And they're both Vegas guys, so that does make sense.
Yeah, I bet I know why you were looking Kenny King up in Las Vegas.
Dude, I totally read that
on
like Reddit or something, that on the side of professional wrestling that Kenny King is a male stripper in Vegas, dude. I totally read that on the internet.
Oh, God, you're kidding me.
No, that's like
legit.
Yeah, that's why I said Brother Underscore is trying to hit him up for some prostitution.
Oh, man, I've been
trying to get
busted.
that King of the Night.
I've been busted. That was TNA, dude. He doesn't exist anymore. He got deleted.
That's right. Brother Underscore is not going that way.
No, not Brother Underscore. Brother Underscore is a Mae Young kind of guy. We all know that.
Kenny King repping the Booty Club clan.
Is he still doing that stupid thing in ROH with that other guy that's not talented that he carries? Red Titus, whatever. That make wrestling great again or whatever. Is Kenny King still doing that?
They changed their gimmick. It's just the same three guys. They changed their gimmick because they were like completely not over. I don't know what the new gimmick is, but they revolted against ROH for giving them such a bad gimmick and making them come out to like Hail to the Chief or whatever it was, and they're still completely not talented.
They're rebels.
They're with Caprice Coleman, right? Isn't it him and Red Titus and Caprice Coleman? And Caprice Coleman's the one that does the talking, which is a shame because Caprice Coleman can't talk.
He's so much better.
Exactly. So yeah, I don't know.
At least TNA is not the only company to waste that guy's talent, because ROH is apparently doing it too. But
ROH
is what it is.
Yes, ROH is what it is right now. We pray every night in my house to make sure that for ROH to get better. We pray for TNA to survive and for ROH to get better.
You know what the problem to me with Ring of Honor is? It's a very like 80s, 70s wrestling format. Like, they have a short television show that really just is an advertisement for their live show and their pay-per-view. You know what I mean? Like, their television product just doesn't match what modern-day professional wrestling is. It's a very old-school format, and it's not gaining viewers. I mean, sure, you go see Ring of Honor live. All right, I don't watch Ring of Honor on TV, but I catch their pay-per-view every few months, and when they come to my area, I go see them. But I couldn't tell you what's going on in their company because they only run so many pay-per-views a year, and their television show, it's just like, just a couple random matches. There's never any progression in it.
See, and I'm kind of see it the same way, but from a different perspective. I enjoy that old school.
It's old school.
Feel.
No, it's a different genre. It's a different genre. It's a different genre than today's pro wrestling. It's raw sports, professional wrestling. It's a different genre, definitely. It's not sports entertainment, and you got to respect it.
Yeah, I like that, and I appreciate the fact that they know who they are and what their fan base is, and they're not trying to get the casual viewer. I've always appreciated that about them. The problem is the past, 6-8 months, the show's been some of the worst wrestling television that I've ever watched in my life, and I don't come on here to bash ROH. I actually usually praise them, but
there's so
suck.
much going on. There's so much going on. I don't have a reason to tune in every week.
And we watched the end of WCW when they were died out, and we watched TNA in 2014. So I mean, kind of see some bad shit ROH, but Total Nonstop Deletion, on the other hand, was not shitty.
No, and getting back to that, actually, this next match was Sienna, and she's claiming that Rosemary is scared. Now, honest to God, I thought that Rosemary wasn't allowed to be there because she had kidnapped Maxwell, so they wouldn't let her come. Which is kind of weird because Rosemary doesn't usually need an invitation to go somewhere. But Sienna's making herself the number one contender. But then I don't understand this. She then challenges anyone in the world to a match for the number one contendership. And of course, who comes out, guys? Yeah, Vanguard won. And Vanguard Run is now going to wrestle Sienna. And this is just about as nutty as anything can ever get. And then the referee kicks Vanguard 1 out because the Athletic Commission won't allow a woman versus drone match. That's exactly what they said. The Athletic Commission would not allow a woman to wrestle a drone. I'm not really sure why the Athletic Commission would care about this, but they do. So now she asks for a person, and the next thing you know, here comes, ODB out, straight from her camper outside. ODB's there, and now we get ODB versus Sienna. Now, I gotta tell you something, guys. As soon as ODB shows up, it's like, well, this is awesome, because if there's one person that I always enjoy, it's ODB.
Bam!
And bam! That's right, because she's just like ROH. And actually she wrestles in ROH. She has a sense of exactly who she is, exactly what she's about, and gosh be darn it, that is OD frickin' B. And they're out, they're wrestling, the ref goes down, and then Sienna's going to hit ODB with a chair, and then, ODB hits Sienna instead and gets the pin, but the ref's not. And then, of course, Vanguard 1, who's pissed off at the ref, I'm assuming Vanguard 1's a he, maybe it's a she, I don't know, comes out for the count, but gets grabbed by the ref. And then I understand that after Sienna wins the match, it's something along the lines of Vanguard 1 somehow managed to delete the ref. I missed that part. Do either one of you guys catch that Vanguard 1 did something and wound up deleting the ref?
Nope.
There was a tweet from Matt Hardy, something along those lines of the Vanguard 1 took out the ref and we'll probably never see him again. All I know was that Vanguard 1 got a chest rub from ODB. And JB with one of those lines of the night, God, we got to get that guy on the show more often. Quote, that's one happy drone. And yes, I am officially jealous of Vanguard 1, guys. I am officially jealous.
Mm-hmm.
Obviously, this show, you just got to replay it over and over and catch more things. Like, right there, you just X us. Did you guys see that? We didn't, so it's just so insane. You got to go back and watch it, and maybe the fifth time you'll catch everything. Because I've seen it twice so far, and I feel like when I watch it a third time, I'm just going to catch more stuff. A lot of layers to this Broken Brilliance.
I watched that, and I'm thinking, if Vanguard 1 wins the Knockouts Championship, FK9 is going to shit his pants. And then I realize ODB comes out, and then I'm thinking FK9 just shit his pants with unhappiness. But honestly, though, I was worried for a second, how in the hell is Rosemary going to make a match with a drone good? But it was funny, really funny. And I think Vanguard 1 possibly is female. Can you guys hear me?
Could be. I guess if he's in a female match, I guess he is.
Right. So, and you call it he.
Yeah, she. You're right.
But,
you're right.
So,
what am I thinking here? Oh my goodness.
There we go.
The PC police need to come take me.
Exactly. I was happy to see ODB back, man. That made me happy. Motorboated, Vanguard 1. I'm happy Sienna won because I think Sienna and Rosemary really should kind of be highlighting the Knockouts division right now. So I don't know if maybe we're going to see a face turn from one or the other. I hope not. I'd like to see heel versus heel, but I'm happy Sienna's in the mix. Happy Sienna's number one contender. I'm excited to see Sienna versus Rosemary.
Sienna versus Rosemary. You get Jade in there. An evolved Allie a few weeks down the line. The things are definitely shaping up. We're going to see. I feel like in 2017, TNA is going to have a stellar women's division. Knockouts division. We're not doing women.
TNA, when they do Allie versus Rosemary this year, it's going to be fucking huge. It's going to be huge.
I feel like they could almost do a show on the Knockouts right now. They got so much talent. The talent is so on fire.
But
I feel like they could do an hour show
with it. They could film women's matches,
Exactly. They could do it in the house shows. They could do so many different things with this ability to put this content out, and we'd all pay the $1. And actually, it's not even $1.99 a month. It's $1.99 a month. So it's actually more like $3 or whatever. I don't know what the current conversion rate is, but it's more than $1.99 a month. I'd pay it for that. Sheesh.
I don't even want to get started on this topic because I've been just for years beating the drum about how they need a third hour or another show, and that extra show, just a 1 hour show to get your knockouts, your X division, your tag team matches to build those divisions. I mean, if they could ever get that potential and actually do something about it, that would just be fantastic, the best thing ever. Because they have the talent to do it. It's just it's very frustrating at times over the years.
They do have the talent to do it, and the talent is all in itch weed who wrestled Chet Sterling. Does anybody know who Chet Sterling is?
Yeah.
No idea.
I bought donuts from him at the store the other day. I have no fucking idea who Chet Sterling is. The balling on a budget for this one, but no idea.
So apparently Itchweed, I guess it makes sense that he'd have a weed whacker, although I'm not surprised that Senor Benjamin allows him to have a weed whacker, because after all, doesn't Senor Benjamin take care of all of their gardening needs?
Very true.
He wound up putting Chet in a sleeper hold, and then he falls asleep himself. So the crowd starts to chant, "Wake up!" And then they wake up. At any rate, Itchweed wins via a pesticide elbow because, according to JB, it kills bugs, it kills weeds, it kills opponents. Definitely the worst finisher ever. I mean, this makes Hulk Hogan's leg drop look like it could actually hurt somebody, right? I mean, like, really? Like, even back in the day when Hogan was, like, the man and beating everybody, it was like, how does that hurt? But Itchweed then has a weed whacker, and he carves up Chet Sterling's wrestling attire. So that was another thing that you could only do on a show like this, where it's not really live and it's not really taped, and you kind of control the audience. So, Raven Effect, I'm going to ask you, buddy. I know you're a big Itchweed fan. What did you think of this? We'll call it a match. Was it a match? Was it a debacle? Was it just pure comedic relief?
Sorry, I'm too high to answer that. I'm kidding, but I don't even know what you want to call it. I don't think we're going to get... Was it Chet Sterling? Is that what you said his name was? Anyways, I don't think we're going to see him come back, so we'll still see Itchweed, but it was still funny. The thing where he fell asleep during the sleeper. I didn't... Did you guys know he was supposed to be narcoleptic?
I had no clue. I had no clue.
It's broken brilliance, man.
Yeah. Apparently this was debut. JB knew about it, so... it was just... It was zany. It was intentionally bad to be there. It was funny. I got a kick out of it. Lighten up, like the people that are dissing on it and whatever. It's funny. Laugh. Don't take wrestling so serious all the time.
It's entertainment.
That's right.
Kyle, what was your take on this? On the fact that it was pure entertainment?
I mean, like when we were just talking before, there's different genres. This isn't Ring of Honor. This is something totally different. It's the American style, but brought to a different level there, Usually American professional wrestling, that variety show, usually there was, a standard, what McMahon created. This is TNA taking that and bringing it to another level. And doing something different. Like we were all saying before, I think it's supposed to have that, low budget, B-rated, sarcastic cheesiness to it. And I mean, personally, I'm a fan, but it's not everybody's cup of tea. You got to realize that. It's not everybody's cup of tea. But I enjoy it, and apparently you guys like it too. And apparently all the other TNA fans are liking it too, because it was trending worldwide. I know Josh Matthews likes to lie a lot, but this actually was a worldwide trend. I don't know if you guys caught that.
It was. It actually was. So, Raven Effect, would you like to see more Itchweed in the future and more Itchweed matches, or are you done with her Itchweed?
I nominated the guy for president. What do you think my answer is?
I don't know. I thought you were going to try to murder his jeans and eat his dick or something. I have no idea what you're going to do.
I guess you've heard about my nature, but no.
I've been checking your Facebook page again, buddy. I've been checking your Facebook page. Got to get those quotes ready.
Yeah, exactly. No, dude, bring all the Itchweed on you can, man. Look, this isn't going to go to the storylines. I don't want to see this shit every week. It's the reason why I don't like Lucha Underground. I just think this stuff is funnier and better. It's just not meant to be taken serious, dude. It's not going to come out in effect. the actual on-screen product and matches and storylines and angles, like nothing that really happened here today is going to affect how TNA actually, is as a company going forward, or how storylines and angles are going to be done and how every wrestling match is going to be done. So bring all the itchweed you can.
Now, TNA after this match, they kind of crossed the line a little bit. They went from, things that you would never expect to see back to an actual real wrestling match where they put the world title on the line in Eddie versus Bobby Lashley. And, guys, I'm not going to lie to you. I truly believe that Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley can have a great match anywhere. I really believe that. But this was actually really the first and actually only real wrestling match that they had. I mean, I guess you could kind of say Sienna versus ODB, but, Vanguard 1 got into that as well. And it was great. I mean, what there was of it was great. I thought they gave them decent time. But then something kind of happened. Lashley speared Eddie Edwards through the dome deletion and outside. And the first thing that I'm going to say is when it happened, you could kind of see that there was a door there. So I've actually watched it 4 or 5 times, and note the TNA production. Take the door off the hinges before you do this next time. Just pop the hinges out, okay? It's not that hard. Worst case scenario, a few screws. Because it was very apparent that what they did was they opened the door and then they just put a prop in front of it. And these guys, they started fighting everywhere. And as far as I'm aware, Kyle, this match somewhere, whether it be in the woods of North Carolina or whether they worked their way north or south or east or west, these guys are still in the woods fighting somewhere.
It's going on right now. It's going on right now. We never got a clear end to this match. We never saw anything signifying that it was over. As we're speaking right now, doing this podcast on this lovely Sunday evening, somewhere in the world, I would like to think that they've moved away from North Carolina by now. Who knows where they are? That these two, Eddie Edwards and Bobby Lashley, are still bashing each other in the face somewhere.
I'm glad that I was worried, like maybe I missed the conclusion at Eddie versus Lashley, because it was kind of like, did they ever have a conclusion? So I'm glad you guys addressed it and I didn't have to talk first. So I thought the match that they had was maybe their best. Like when it was actually in the ring, it was really fucking good for what it was. I just remember all of a sudden I kind of got out of that zany mode and it was like, wow, I'm just watching a really good wrestling match right now. And, I know people, especially our boy Chef, doesn't like the way Eddie's been booked. He doesn't hate Eddie. He doesn't like the way Eddie's been booked as a champ. But, Eddie, during these last tapings, who worked their ass off, who wrestled more matches than Eddie Edwards? I'm not saying he's got the title reign that Bret Hart has, because, no, it's not that good and anything like that. But, I'm enjoying Eddie as champ because of the matches himself as a fighting champ. And, he's a great wrestler, and him and Lashley had another good match. I actually missed the door part, so, I'll have to check it out at some point. But zany ass fucking show, and we know where they go, and they just fight out. Like the tag team Apocalypto is going on, and all of a sudden you see those two just kind of slugging it out for a while, and yeah, well done. Good way to not have Lashley eat another loss and not drop the belt off Eddie, because I assume we got Eddie versus EC3 coming up soon.
That was my exact take on the whole thing. I'm watching it and I'm going, all right, there's no way Eddie is losing the belt here on this show. They're not changing the world title hands here now. And I really don't care to see Lashley lose again. He had his rematch. He lost his rematch. That's cool. That's normal. But to just continually job him off. So by having them just fight all over the place, all it really says is that, they're equals, which is great because it gives Eddie Edwards a good push, and Lashley doesn't have to take another defeat. So I absolutely love the way that they did that. I love the way that they showed up periodically from time to time throughout the tag team Apocalypto match. And guys, they have to tell us the rules of this, which is probably a good thing, but it's obviously Falls Count Anywhere. It's the last team standing match. And, Matt speaking about every team in the history of professional wrestling being invited. And the first thing I got to say is, I was disappointed. I was looking for the Bucks of Youth. I'm not going to lie. I was hoping to find the Bucks of Youth in this thing and just didn't get it. But we got a ton of other cameos and everything else. I'm not even sure, guys,
I would have liked a
break this
tongue-in-cheek reference, though, I would have liked, like, a tongue-in-cheek reference in there to them since they weren't in there. Like, they could have turned that into a joke.
It would have been good if they would have had, like some little kids, getting bucked off a horse or something like that. Something stupid, It would have been good, but I have to say, with everything leading up to it, and I don't want to say we're led to believe that they could possibly be there, because we all know that supposedly they were out of the country, wrestling somewhere else anyway. But it would have been a mark out moment to see them. But we still were treated to a lot of other people that we don't normally see, and it was still an incredibly entertaining. It's called event, spectacle. I don't know, Kyle. What would you refer to it as?
Broken brilliance. I would just refer to it as broken brilliance. But that one of the Young Bucks did tweet. I caught this. One of them tweeted that I don't remember which one. I don't know, one from the other. But I did catch that one of them said that they would be at the party compound soon. I don't know if that means it's going to be on TNA television. I don't know if that means it's going to be on Ring of Honor television. Or is it going to be on YouTube as just a video? Who knows? But apparently they're showing up to the Hardy compound, and they better watch out for Senor Benjamin and that damn taser.
Yeah, for sure. Got to watch out for Senor Benjamin. I was hoping that the Young Bucks would be there, or with the Briscoes or someone from ROH. Because, I mean, like, you send Matt Hardy to pay-per-view, that's already happened, but, like, dude, only TNA is going to go in there and be like, yeah, Matt Hardy can work ROH, but they don't get anything to put themselves over. I hope that's not the case. History can repeat itself, but it was a little disappointing to not see that. But, I mean, we got all sorts of good stuff coming up, which I'm sure we're going to cover. So I did expect to see the Young Bucks and the Briscoes and maybe a little more names, but it was still good. Still, this was awesome. I would call it Broken Brilliance as well, or Apocalypto, or just some crazy-ass spectacle.
Now, of course, the match kicks off, and the first thing we get are the Hardys and the Helms Dynasty. And we'd already seen the Helms Dynasty a couple times. We were told that something was going to happen in the Lake of Reincarnation, and it was going to be, quite out there. They go and, they start wrestling, and then the arena fills with smoke, and there's some announcement saying that the public must evacuate the property. So the public has to evacuate the property, but it's okay for everybody to keep, wrestling. And you've got wrestlers showing up to the property afterwards, but because of the smoke, that makes no sense, because sooner or later they went back in there anyway. That the public has to get out. And I guess this is where they're saying, okay, now we're going to go and we're going to tape the stuff that nobody's allowed to know what it is. But you wind up with the Hardys and the Rock and Roll Express decide that they're bonding now, Raven, because apparently they were all teen heartthrobs at one time. So they bonded. And they're doing the fireworks spectacle at the K and the Helms Dynasty. And all I remember from this was Abyss looking at Steven going, oh no, not this shit again. You know what I mean? And they just took off.
Fun story. I actually, I don't know if I still have it to go, but back in 1998, I actually met both Tatanka and the Rock and Roll Express. I have the Rock and Roll Express's autograph somewhere. I may have lost it or gotten rid of it, but did have it for a while. The Express of Rocks and Roll, that is. Tatanka was there, and Doink the Clan. It was in Tule Lake, California, and trust me, like, they probably don't want people to know that they ever actually had to stoop to wrestling in that place, but PG-13 was there too. That was the highlights. But so that was cool to see them. And yeah, poor Stephen Abyss knew it was coming, and that little alliance and all that. It was pretty funny. So it was good. So it was nice to see them come back, and that's a legit historic tag team they're working in for TNA. So they showed their age. Too bad. I kind of wish like they would have tried to do something to make them look younger. You know, like throw them in the Lake of Reincarnation and make them look younger or something. Like do something ridiculous. And
get some like stunt doubles, like some indie guys that look like them. You know, some young guys go in there and do all their old shit.
Yeah.
I like the fact that when they showed up, like Ricky Morton, he was like going to take the beer, and Robert Gibbs, because of course, you know, Ricky Morton's had his issues with substances over the years, and Robert Gibson, he was going to eat the green beans. It's just like, this shit is just too good, you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh, man.
Well, they are a delicacy, you know. It was great to see the Rock and Roll Express back in professional wrestling. You know, Broken Brilliance all around. I know a lot of the younger fans didn't get some of the references in there, but I believe that the Night of the Skywalkers thing was like a reference to an old 80s match with the scaffold. I don't know if you guys could shed some light on that.
Yes, it was. There was a scaffold match. There was Cornette was in it, and the Midnight Express, and it was Starcade, if I recall correctly.
Yeah, and Cornette broke his leg too, didn't he?
Yes.
On the drop, yeah.
If you listen to some of the interviews that Cornette does, he talks about that match like quite a bit. But I mean, to me, possibly the highlight of the entire show, or one of the highlights of the entire show, is just the way that they left Ricky Morton hanging on a Jerry Picker and nobody would bring him down. He's like, guys, this isn't cool. This isn't cool.
They reminded me of like when they left Don Vito and the giant birthday cake in the parking lot. I don't know if you guys remember that.
No, I don't remember that.
It was Viva La Bam or Jackass back in the day. Like they had Don Vito dressed up like in a cake. Like they were going to have him pop out for a birthday for like Bam Margera's mom or something. But so they put him in a cake and they just left him in like a gas station parking lot and drove away. And like the camera panned as like, you know, it turned from like day to night and like the hours flew by on the bottom of the screen, you know. Don Vito stuck in the cake. But it was definitely a treat to see, you know, two old timers back on TV doing their thing, without a doubt.
Yeah, and they were old timers that I liked. The one thing I didn't want to see was I didn't want to see them, you know, exposed for what they are, which is, you know, older guys. I mean, it's not an insult to get old. It's just something that happens to all of us. And they did a good job at protecting them and making them, you know, come off as entertaining without having to, you know, just make them look like they're some sad old team. So I definitely hats off to the Hardys for that. But I got to tell you, you know, the Helms dynasty, and they were very entertaining in this as well. I mean, I don't know what you guys thought. They threw Shane Helms in a Lake of Reincarnation, saying he needed a change of attitude. And then all of a sudden he's like, Lake of Reincarnation, how could you? I've never seen you produce such a resulting result. And you turn around and it's like, oh my God, it's 3 count. And only instead of, you know, of Shannon and Evan, you've got Trevor Lee and Andrew Everett, and they're dancing, and they've got the little lights underneath of them. And then he just looks at him. Shane Helm just looks at him and he goes, "You're not Shannon. You're not Evan. They were way better than you guys." And then they kick Shane Helms back in the Lake of Reincarnation. And the next thing you know, when he comes back, oh my goodness, it's like all I want to think of is he's the Green Lantern. Of course, he's not actually the Green Lantern, but that's what the hell that Hurricane character looks like.
Yeah, it's supposed to be a ripoff of the Green Lantern. Oh man, I hated the fucking Hurricane so bad. 3 count thing was funny though. I wish they would have gotten Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous. Because what the fuck happened to Evan Courageous? Like, has anyone seen that guy?
I've wondered that, dude. I've wondered that throughout the years, especially now the WWE Network. I only subscribe to it to watch old shit, and I've been watching like the late '90s, early 2000s Nitros, and I'm thinking to myself, what happened to this guy? He just, fell off into obscurity after WCW folded.
That's what happens when you jump to Medusa.
You're listening to the wrong old Nitros. You need to watch the newer ones, buddy. Or the older ones in that, man. Those were the worst Nitros.
Well, you know what, dude? But here's the thing. I'm such a sick fuck that I get a kick out of watching the Vince Russo Nitros, and the worse they are, the more I enjoy them. You know what I mean?
I can see that.
I have a different sense of humor. Like, I could watch a Vince Russo fest and just laugh. But not everybody can. That's not for everybody.
It's not for everybody.
Unintentional.
Obviously,
comedy.
the best stuff is 96, 97, Nitro at its peak. But I could get a kick out of the late stuff.
I love 98 too. Wolfpack, Kevin Nash. That's right, IWC. I love some Kevin Nash.
And you gotta love Bobby Heenan on commentary. That's just
the
such
greatest
a plus.
Well,
Such a plus.
The GOAT.
That
The GOAT.
legitimizes Nitro to a point. It just adds to it. You got Bobby Heenan on commentary.
I'm sure.
But
you
in
guys
2000, you get Mark Madden and those.
Oh my God, Scott Hudson. I think
so
Scott Hudson died, so I'm sorry, I'm not going to go there. But dude, Mark Madden was.
No. I don't think Scott Hudson died. I'm actually positive he's still alive.
Oh really? I think one of those guys died, but.
Yeah, I'm sure somebody, but Scott Hudson, I believe, is still alive because he's on the. I'm on this wrestling group on Facebook, Cult of Kayfabe, and he's always posting on there.
Oh, okay. But Mark Madden is the worst fucking commentator ever.
Terrible. Fucking awful.
Yeah. Terrible. Could be worse than Josh Matthews, TNA fans. Just remember that.
Jets Creek.
Now, guys, let's talk about awful, and that was the appearances of some of these tag teams that just got rolled over by the Decay. And it was nice to see Decay just sort of sure, you come in and pinning them. You come in and you pinning them. But some of these guys, they didn't last more than 3 seconds. And I actually think that somewhere along the lines, Crazy Steve actually killed somebody.
Crazy Steve straight murdered someone, and I'm very grateful that he didn't murder us.
Yeah, I know. Tell me about it. I'm a little worried about this sometimes.
They are the death dealers. They are the death dealers. That's what they do. They deal death.
He straight slit the dude's throat, didn't he, with his fucking fingernail or some shit like that?
It was something like that, man. It was
Steve. Damn.
Dude, they should make a Decay comic book. I would totally fucking.
Oh, I would buy it. There's no doubt about that. There's totally
no
doubt about that.
I don't mean to take it off in a different direction here, but real quick, just before we move on, I want to see if you guys caught this. When you were watching the Hardys saga, did you catch that the truck driver that popped up in this? Popped up along the lines. Did you catch that they left him pants down? And when he ran up on them during Bound for Glory, he mumbled the word sodomized. Did you catch that?
Yes.
I did.
Yeah,
absolutely.
They fucked him, dude. Decay fucked him in the ass. You fucking.
That's what they did to Brother Underscore too.
Nobody fucking caught that.
I said it on the show.
Dude, me and my buddy Cody were like, oh my God, dude, did they fuck that guy in the ass? He's like, dude, I think Abyss did it. That's what my buddy Cody said.
So that's my question for you, Kyle. Whose dick would you rather have in your ass, Abyss or Crazy Steve?
What the fuck?
Oh, man. Dude, that's too much. Too much. But yeah, dude, they fucked that truck driver, and he won't leave them alone. He's obsessed with them. I think he secretly enjoyed the butt fucking, so he's stalking them. He won't leave them alone. Why does he keep popping up?
He tried to go Brokeback Mountain with James Storm, apparently.
James Storm was great.
You know
He's not on my team.
You know what's so funny about the truck driver that got fucked in the ass? You want to hear something funny about this? I've been to TNA shows. That's the guy that runs the merchandise table. I swear to God. That is the guy that runs the merchandise table. So somebody must have went to him and be like, hey, you want to be a truck driver in this and get fucked in the ass?
They just could have said, hey, do you want to get butt fucked? I'd been like, you just got me sold. Kidding.
Well, if you thought the Mae Young stuff was funny, we just talked for 3 minutes about getting fucked in the ass.
By Abyss.
This is a milestone in podcast history.
The dick jokes went from whose dick would you rather have raping you between Crazy Steve or Abyss, courtesy of Brother Underscore.
Hey.
He
You never know.
Motherfuckers in Christmas cheer, let me tell you.
Hey, guys. It could have been Rosemary with a strap on. Don't forget it, all right?
That would have been my top choice.
I mean,
we are keeping the Christ in Christmas this episode, aren't we?
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. And Merry Christmas, everybody.
Happy holidays, Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa.
Whatever
Hanukkah.
works for you. Whatever works for you. We love you all.
We love you. Whatever you celebrate, if anything.
That's right. This is sodomization, whatever the case may be.
What you don't know is other things happen to Bram after they put him in the trunk of that car. There was stuff you didn't see on camera.
There's no reason there's a reason why he came back with a mask for a while.
That's right.
The Chesterfield plague is, code word for an STD.
Or a sodomy position.
Oh,
Jesus.
No, hey guys.
That's the brighter side of suffering, I guess.
Speaking of the brighter side of suffering, you know who else suffered on this show? We lost somebody, and I know that Steve killed somebody, and I know we talked about sodomization. I know we covered that very well. Good job, Kyle. But we lost Skarsgård. They're gonna have to heal. They're gonna throw him in the Lake of Reincarnation and fix him.
Yeah, those motherfucking Helms Dynasty beat the shit out of that poor boat.
What's up with that?
Dilapidated boat. I have a decrepit erection. You know how bad it is for me to see a dilapidated boat get destroyed?
Yeah, we know you weren't the one screwing the truck driver.
No, I can't. I think it just goes to the left.
It's your girlfriend. Somebody say your girlfriend.
You don't need to know.
But that was just one more crazy thing that they did. And if they were going to lose anybody, Skarsgård, but you never know. Maybe they'll get like Itchweed to come and put it back together or not. But of all these teams that came in, there was one team that did a little better than some of the others. And no, I'm not referring to Spud and Hornswoggle, although we'll get to them. I'm talking about the Bravados. They actually put a decent match on. Now, Raven, I know you're not that familiar with the Bravados, but Kyle, I'll ask you: do you think that there is a chance that we'll see the Bravados in TNA wrestling in 2017?
Who's to say that Total Nonstop Deletion wasn't a debut of sorts for the Bravado brothers? Maybe we're going to see them moving forward in 2017 because, let's not, sugarcoat it. TNA has been pretty dry in the tag team division. So, more tag teams, that's definitely what they need. And I think the Bravado brothers really proved, that they can hang in this fucking whole broken brilliance insanity that was Total Nonstop Deletion. I enjoyed that part.
I did too. And, I had been down on the Bravados for quite some time, but they really have improved over the years. I mean, honestly, from their first run in Ring of Honor, they've gotten a lot better. And, we just lost a tag team, right? So we got room for a tag team. And these guys will be a little bit cheaper to fly in. So why not? Fly them in when you need them and use them. I think if they're solid hands, I don't know that they're going to be the next Hardys or the next Decays, but they will give the Hardys and Decays somebody to actually feud with, and they certainly gave them a decent showing as well. Now, we're talking about showings here. Raven Effect, your boy Spud, he had a very big partner. So, you want to tell us a little bit about Spud and his boy Hornswoggle?
Swoggle, because apparently WWE trademarked the word horn, which is fitting because Vince has two on his head and one up his ass. But I was disappointed as fuck. Like, you couldn't have teamed with Road Warrior Animal. We had to bring in Swoggle, the Swogs. Thank God. So everyone keep this show with a grain of salt because poor Rockstar Spud got pinned by a 1-year-old child and then after that was beaten up by a midget. Little person, my bad. Leprechaun.
How dare you?
I thought that Ryback was going to come out.
That could have been.
I was expecting Ryback. I heard the big guy, and I was thinking big guy, and I'm thinking, all right, Ryback's a free agent. I'm thinking I'm going to see him, and what do you know? It's fucking Hornswoggle, the exact opposite. Great to see the Little Bastard. You guys remember that? His first name in WWE was Little Bastard.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it turned out to be Vince's son.
That was one of the first signs of PC America, UPN 9 wasn't having little bastard.
Guy, just
His name is
please.
Hornswoggle.
I hope to God they just don't keep Hornswoggle on TV. Like they don't bring him in full time.
How would you feel about that if they sign Hornswoggle and he becomes X Division champion?
Oh Jesus Christ!
I'd stop watching. Man. They're not doing that.
Really? Never mind.
No, they got more chances. They're going to keep the ugly freaking ducklings with Colby Carino. I mean, that's not happening.
It
was fun. Apparently, yes. Colby Carino was one of the ugly ducklings.
That's cool.
That's what I got off of thread. I'll have to look up who I need to credit on that one. But I was asking some questions.
I heard Colby Carino's been hanging out with Itchweed.
Oh, really? I heard some stuff about Colby that I was surprised to hear about.
He got arrested recently. He had a big arrest. He got arrested and had a shit ton of drugs.
Yeah, I heard like heroin or something, which is crazy. But
yeah. It was definitely some serious shit.
I love his dad. Like, I love the guy's dad. So
his
dad was commentating for TNA.
King of old school.
Him as an active wrestler back in TNA, or ECW. I loved him in ECW. Loved it.
It was Chucky Chuck and BCC that reported that. It was the Ugly Ducklings were Lance Lude and Rob Killjoy, and they were with Colby Carino. It was so dark, I couldn't make out who any of these people were.
Yeah. Good for Colby. Look, they got ROH talent, everyone. The ROH got the Hardys, and TNA got Steve Carino's son.
That was the exchange.
He's already been
Sounds
released,
good to me,
by the
darling.
way. Oh, he was released, so he was actually, I think he was in New Japan. I think he was in New Japan when he got arrested, and then New Japan let him go. I think. Don't hold me to that. I'm not like a Colby Carino lackey.
Is he still with Whitmer or whatever?
No, they're done. He's done in ROH.
Okay, I gotcha. That's what I thought you said, but then you just said New Japan, so.
Yeah, then he went to New Japan, is what I understand.
A lot of you guys heard Steve Carino's done with Ring of Honor. He's actually he's going to be a trainer at the WWE Performance Center now, and I think Ring of Honor takes a huge hit for that because Steve Carino on commentary is like one of the best parts of watching Ring of Honor.
It is the best part of watching Ring of Honor.
Exactly.
It might be the only good part.
Their only option, to be honest, if you want to have someone as good as Carino, they got to bring in Matt Taven to be their other commentator. That's
the ding-dings, the super kicks. You take a big loss when you lose Steve Carino for Ring of Honor.
He's the best commentator in wrestling today by far, I think.
Absolutely.
Yeah, like by far.
Yeah, so entertaining.
Yeah.
Who's this?
Going to the devil. And then they lost, I heard, what's his name, too? Nigel McGuinness is leaving them to go train for WWE.
Yep, he's going to be a trainer at WWE. Or he's doing commentary.
He's doing commentary.
Is he?
Yeah,
he's
doing commentary.
This is how fucked up WWE is. They get Steve Carino and then they put Nigel McGuinness on commentary. Nigel's like, I mean, he's boring. I mean, don't get me wrong. He could be worse than Nigel. He's not the worst person there ever was, but they got Steve freaking Carino, but they're gonna put Nigel on TV. It's like,
well, it's for the United Kingdom. It's for the United Kingdom tournament. He's a United Kingdom guy. I get it. That's the whole point. They're having a UK tournament.
I mean, bottom line, TNA still dropped the ball with Desmond Wolfe after, like, man, what a debut that dude. That sucked how bad they dropped the ball with Nigel and Desmond Wolfe. Him and Angle was him and Angle, that was fucking incredible feud.
Yeah, but part of that was the Hep, man. He went with Hep, and they had to let him go.
Yeah, well, I'm sure.
I mean, and Nigel retired. It wasn't like he kept wrestling.
Yeah.
But yeah, Desmond Wolfe was awesome. I'll tell you who was awesome. Freaking valet. What was her name again? Chelsea. Good God.
Think Abyss raped her too?
I would. Let me tell you something.
Well, I would have sworn it was Sonny if he had Hep C.
Oh, that big old bag of trash.
Good God above.
Did you guys ever watch her video? Did you actually
I kind of watched her fat ass get butt fucked a little bit. But.
I watched it. It was disgusting, dude. She looks like garbage.
How has that not been in the chat window yet? I wonder then if that's the case.
I think it made the chat window last time. I think it's you're late on that one, man.
It's me just not wanting to look.
Oh man. Yeah,
The secrets of the heel.
Yeah, the sequels of the old. So back to this incredibly crazy match. At some point they wind up they wind up on there's another mat. There's another random ring somewhere. At any rate, they wind up climbing up the volcano. And this is how you know that Hornswoggle was not signed, Raven Effect. He got deleted by Lashley. Lashley speared him right into the volcano. Now, Lashley somehow stopped. I understand that. But then he kept fighting Eddie some more. And then the whole shield and the ground with the crazy grass got set on fire. And the Hardys and Decay continued to fight. Although they were very careful not to catch on fire. And I thought that was pretty good. I don't know about you guys, but that was probably pretty hard to dance through that without catching on fire yourself. Abyss went for Janice, and of course, they're trying to use it on Abyss, but he did. Then Steve starts beating on Jeff, and then Jeff somehow pushes Steve into the volcano, and somehow Steve gets thrown a mile into the air and gets pinned by Matt.
Yeah. The volcano erupted.
That's right. And the news
man found Hornswoggle.
The news anchor warned you. You know what did disappoint me, though, guys? And I'm sorry I want to say this, because I expected to see this. With that Lake of Reincarnation, how did we not get Rockstar Spud and EC3 as a tag team in this?
I thought the same thing, dude. I thought I was going to see them. I really thought I was going to see them together in this.
Because EC3 could have had a match, and then he ends up in the Reincarnation, and then they're a tag team. I expected it the whole time. I expected something real zany out there. We'd get them, and Spud would eat the pin and whatnot. But I mean, it was still awesome. But
why no Mike Bennett either? I mean, what about Mike Bennett and doing something funny with the Lake of Reincarnation, and him and EC3 wind up a tag team? Why not something just off the wall like that?
Or they
Mike
bring
Bennett
in Matt
and Moose go back
Taven for
together.
a match. Bring in Matt Taven, put the Kingdom in there for a match, since the Hardys are going to ROH.
I hear you. There's still a chance for that, man. There's still a chance for that.
Yeah, I wonder if there's going to be a talent exchange, or are the Hardys just going to appear for Ring of Honor, or is there going to be an exchange? Are we going to see somebody from Ring of Honor, preferably the Bucks of Youth? Me personally,
I was hoping
I would like to see them pop on TNA. Hey.
Colby Carino was already released. I'll be honest with
you.
you.
Maybe Colby Carino.
Uh-oh.
We just lose you, Kyle?
From in the beginning of the year. Remember when Spud was sniffing during the shows?
Yeah. Oh, God. Cokehead
Spud.
Colby Carino was his
maybe
guy.
Cokehead Spud was getting his shit from Colby Carino. Makes sense.
I'd still like to see the Briscoes show up at some point. I get it, and I'm all for the Bucks of Youth first, but wouldn't you like to see the Briscoes?
I don't like the Briscoes as a thing, but in a way.
The Briscoes?
I do not like them.
No, man.
Oh,
they're good wrestlers. They are good wrestlers. I'm not going to take that away, but the whole redneck shit is not for me.
Did you realize that?
I love their promos, man.
Have you guys ever actually been to Sandy Fork, Delaware?
No.
Fuck, no, I haven't even left the West Coast.
Dude, it is as freaking advertised. Literally. Sandy Fork, Delaware is exactly as they claim it is in Ring of Honor. No freaking lie. The claim to fame is that there's a there's a liquor store just south of it, or is it in Sandy Fork, and they claim to have the cheapest liquor prices or something, and then you can go into Maryland after that and not have to pay taxes. That's why I've been to Sandy Fork. It is as freaking advertised, man. I'm telling you, there are a bunch of chicken farmers down there, and they're good old boys.
Them boys, good old boys.
Damn boys, damn good old freaking boys. So, look, guys, here's the thing.
Did we miss Road Warrior Animal? Did we shout him out?
We shouted him out because
love Road Warrior Animal. Just saying that. It was cool to see him. Thank God he didn't bring Heidenreich with him.
It was good. Now, why was he shown again? Remind me of that one.
It was something with encouraging the Rock and Roll Express. Wouldn't it have been some shit if they used the Lake of Reincarnation and they threw Darren Drozdov in there, and all of a sudden Droz could walk again, and then you had Droz an animal.
Oh God.
Some Peter Popoff shit.
Yeah.
Or if they had Hawk, just reincarnate somebody as Hawk, bring him back to life.
WWE, do it.
I had a laugh out loud moment when literally, this show's just about over. Everybody's just about done, right? And Ricky Morton's still like, guys, let me down. Guys, let me down. And Road Warrior Animal just looks up and laughs at him. I let you down, asshole. Fuck you. You can stay up there. I thought that was great, but I would have liked to see more of Road Warrior Animal. At least they got him in there. You know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Oh man. So I think the big thing about this, guys, is that there was a lot of interesting stuff in this match, in this show. I'm looking back on some of my notes but we maybe didn't cover, and we didn't really talk too much about the Helms Dynasty, and when Jeff grabbed the ref and threw him on the bike, right? Because they were going to town. And he says to the ref, "We got to go get him," and the ref looks at him and goes, "I need a helmet." I was like, I can't get him back. I need a helmet. You don't need a helmet. And the ref's going, "Oh man, this is the guy who fell and broke his freaking leg."
So with the Helms Dynasty, what do you guys think? You think they are now done with Gregory Helms as their manager, or it's going to proceed like nothing happened?
I think they're obsolete. I think that they're done, and I think it's good.
I was confused.
No. I think they're obsolete as a tag team. I'd
hate that.
I'd
hate that. They keep them together, but split them out into the X division, but keep them together, because them against the Hardys, them against DK, them against the Wolves. You can't. That tag team's too damn good. They should be heavily featured.
See, and that's the thing.
Heavily featured, and they should both be heavily featured in the X division, especially Everett. Everett and Mandrew should get a big push in 2017.
I don't feel like I've seen enough of them to tell me whether they're any good as a team or not. I feel like I've seen 5 matches. They just call them a tag team because they're the Helms Dynasty. I feel like all I ever get is Trevor Lee in singles matches, and I don't ever get to see Andrew Everett. But every time I see Andrew Everett, he actually outshines Trevor Lee. And so
exactly.
I kind of feel like I just want to see more of Andrew Everett to find out more about him. I don't know. He could be the greatest thing ever, or he could just have had a few good moves, and I've seen them all. But I feel like I need to see more of him, and I feel like if they break them up and let him have some runs, that's great. The problem is, Raven, and we all three of us know this, they're going to break them up and then do nothing with either one of them. I mean, that's the problem, right?
Yeah.
Definitely. And I'm wondering, are we getting a best of episode this week?
I think we're getting a Hardy holiday show, not a best of.
I think it's
maybe the Hardys.
I have no idea.
Maybe the Hardys will host the best of show.
My understanding is that it's going to be some form of a best of show, but it's not just a best of show. It's more than a best of show. It's going to have consequence and meaning. So I don't know exactly what that means, but it's something along the lines of, and this is, I think JB is the one that said it. Yeah, it was JB. They're going to call it a very Hardy New Year or a broken New Year. There's going to be some kind of big material from the Hardy compound, as a fallout from Total Nonstop Deletion. So the recaps will not be throwaway shows, but they're still going to be recaps. I don't know what that means, but that's what JB said. And he's usually pretty straight.
Brilliant. The best part was when they buried the Helms Dynasty, and they said, even the man with 3 H's would be proud of the burial of this young talent. Gold.
Yeah, it was hilarious.
Just wanted to make sure we got that in on the show.
Oh,
props to Matt Hardy for having the balls to say that.
If we're going to start talking about that stuff, let's talk about JB on some of his one-liners. I showed or talked about a couple of those, but JB was absolutely awesome on commentary. What a pleasure and a change of pace. Nothing against Pope. I love Pope, but JB just brings it, and he doesn't
great.
wait. He
He's
just
great.
brings it.
JB outshines.
Did you either of you guys catch the December 2016 One Night Only? JB was on commentary with Josh Matthews, and obviously he carried Josh Matthews, but there was a lot of funny stuff in there. You got to check out the One Night Onlys because, I mean, the matches you're not getting on Impact, but when you listen to the commentary, it kind of sounds like they're not as produced and they're a little more laid back. I definitely recommend to the listeners, TNA fans, if you haven't checked out the One Night Only shows, give them a watch. There's definitely a lot of good stuff there.
Yeah, absolutely.
I try and catch them when I can. I mean, it's not like I ignore all the One Night Onlys, but
yeah, and we've got our buddy Hurls who sits down and does some reviews for us on them. So we're hoping to get him to do more of that. He did one last week, but we want to actually get those things reviewed as well, so people know what they're missing because there is a lot of great content.
They're great. I don't miss them once a month.
Isn't there a One Night Only live coming up soon next year too? Do we get another one of those?
Hopefully.
Yes.
I hope so.
In the first set of tapings, we're getting a One Night Only live.
Yeah, which I loved the one last year, so that's pretty awesome.
The January one, dude. It was awesome.
Yeah. And then as the other, we kind of mentioned it, but we saw James Storm come in, and that truck driver guy was in the DCC mask. We should at least cover that part. And James Storm he got pinned, and James Storm told everyone that or tried telling the ref that wasn't his partner the whole time. So that's why the DCC got out. So James Storm was booked strong there. DCC still looking strong going into 2017, which I like.
Yeah, I think the tag team division shapes up quite nicely in 2017. I think that we probably have seen the last of the Helms Dynasty at this point. Unless they keep them together and just call them something different. They're no longer the Helms Dynasty, right? And we definitely seen the last of Tribunal, but it's also very possible we might get some matches from the Bravado Brothers. We've got the DCC that's formed. We've got Decay, and we've got the Hardys. So that's
the Wolves.
Oh man,
Wolves.
Let's see
Wolves Nation.
Let's see what happens there. We've heard a lot about Davey and what Davey's plans are after this. We got Eddie as a champ, so we'll see them get back together hopefully at some point in 2017. I'll mark out for that one as well. But in the meantime,
no sign of Caleb Conley.
None.
Oh, that's right.
Still MIA.
I have a feeling we're going to say that about Aiden O'Shea, too.
Yeah. I'm surprised he didn't get deleted in this one, guys.
Yeah.
Flyman deleted McCall today. I'm surprised they didn't delete Billy Corgan in some way. I mean, would be wrong in a lot of ways, and there's probably legal reasons that they can't do it as part of the settlement, but it would kind of been just a cool way to write Billy Corgan off. He got deleted, and just, so some poster or something Billy Corgan thrown in.
Yeah.
We all know
what happened. By Decay.
They wanted so bad. They were so planning to do a deletion of Dixie Carter on this episode for months, and then that shit backfired.
Yeah. Well, they can delete her as well. I'm done with her too, guys.
Yeah, me too. I think I think the plan was really they wanted to delete the name TNA at this show. They want to delete Dixie Carter, and everything kind of backfired on them, in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But now, look, guys, speaking of being done, I think in terms of our recap of the show, I think we've actually somehow managed to cover everything, I think. I'm sure Count will let us know what we forgot in the comment sections. But at any rate, it was, at least for the three of us, I think I can speak for all three of us when I say it was a very entertaining show. It was a great change of pace, and we thoroughly enjoyed it. So, folks, on behalf of the entire HeelCast, the entire King of the Mountain podcast, everybody, thanks for listening, and we're going to have to get together and do this super show type thing again, because it's just always so much fun.
Absolutely. Thank you for joining us this week, Kyle.
It's been a pleasure, guys. Thank you for having me on. We definitely got to do some more stuff down the line in the future.
Yeah, absolutely. So, folks, have a great week. We'll catch you next time. Don't forget, check out the King of the Mountain podcast. Check out the HeelCast. And don't forget to check out our buddy Chef's new podcast as well, guys. Have a great week. We'll check you later.